right, so this is like freaking Mr. Rogers' house that's awesome with Marshall stacks.
Yeah, we've been transported.
Yeah, it's like a nice serene background. Could be anybody's neighborhood.
But it's the den of iniquity.
It's Mr. Pierce's neighborhood.
Yes.
Won't you be my guitar neighbor?
Yeah. Yes.
Anyway, so what you heard was Tim playing over a jam track that's going to be down below that he actually played on. We both played on. So we created a jam track. We're going to leave that for you below. And then your stuff is going to be down there as well. Tim's got sites, YouTube pages,
channels,
the plethora
content
of awesomeness. So make sure down below you check out all the links. And then we're going to break down, he's going to break down what he would do over kind of each part. We're going to give you a few options.
Expose on playing over those chords.
Maybe major, minor,
modes,
chords,
rock.
Everything you need. All right, let's zoom in for a closer look. All right, so our first section's kind of, you know... Bad Company, could be AC/DC, could be country. What are you doing over that?
Okay, I'm doing all of those things because they all apply depending on who's asking.
Exactly.
Okay, so I start with the country kind of fill, and I'm up here at the 12th fret, 2nd string. I'm in kind of A major, and my hand is anchored between frets 10 and 12. That's the A note I choose. String 2, fret 10.
Position 4. A
position
major
4. See, you can teach me all of these
and
phrases.
Then you got your little A shape right there, which is why all your notes sound so good.
Okay, so yeah, that's the A chord that I'm seeing in my mind up there. It's this A chord right here. And, you know, we have an A here, we have an A here, we have an A here, we have an A here.
Now you're just showing off.
A here. Okay, so. Anyway, so wherever this is, where you just said it was, where is it again?
Position 4.
Position 4.
A major pentatonic.
Wow, that's so cool. Can you show me the 4 positions? Is this 1?
That's 1.
Is this 2?
That's 2.
Is this 3?
That's 3.
And this is 4.
That's 4. Well, that's what I call 4.
Okay, great. Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So that is kind of country or southern. I pull up so that it's the major 3rd. Up to here, the 14th fret, 2nd string. And then when the chord goes to G,
break that down a little slower. Because
you want that lick broken down?
Yeah. It sounds so good.
Well, what it is I'm pulling up to the 3rd here on the 2nd string, and then I grab the 4th, which is this D note here on the 1st string, and then I come up to the 5th note, which is the E note, and then I pull again, and then I come back down to the A note.
Nice.
And then I do this kind of thing right here. So it's squeezing a lot out of a very small position. All these notes are the same, I'm just kind of using them in different ways. So let's break it down again. We got these 2 notes, and then these 3 notes, and then we pull again, and then we end.
Sweet.
And I like the really slow vibrato that I do with my wrist. You know, that's the way I like it. And I'll say one more time, I say it all the time, when I pull a string, I use 2 fingers to pull, this time 3. All 3 fingers are pulling up on the string, and that way you get all the strength and stability. If I did 1 finger, it would be a disaster. I'd be nervous. You get a lot of confidence when you pull up with 3 strings. Moving on?
Yes, please.
Okay, when Brett goes to the G chord, I follow down and I play a G note. I mean, it's simple. But I think maybe, you know, I do it a lot of different ways, but if I bring my hand all the way down to position 2, and the index finger is anchored on the 5th fret, then I'm set up to do the G and D chord really in a cool way, because I can just pull up here to this G note from the F sharp. You're going to the G chord, I'm hitting the G note, and then you go to the D chord, I drop it down 1 note, and that's the 3rd of D. And then I drop it down 1 more note, and it's the 5th of A. So they're all different intervals of the 3 chords, you know. So you play me the G chord.
Okay, you can do that.
Yeah.
To the D.
that, you know, that's now you're playing a melody, which is really cool. So if I'm up here doing this country riff, and Brett drops a G, and I know for a fact that I did this nice blend of the A note. And that sounds really good too when you kind of do a double stop.
Full tension.
Yeah. And what that is my third finger is on fret 8, string 2. Index finger is on fret 5, string 1. And I just walk this one down. Walk down on the second string from 8 to 7 to 5.
And you're kind of mixing major and minor pentatonic right there. 'Cause that's a minor position 1.
Yeah, and you can do that. I mean, when you hit that A chord,
Yeah.
I can cheat and use minor or major. There's certain rock songs
Yeah.
where you can kind of use both minor and major and just kind of get away with both. Or minor, major. And I did a lot of that on this.
Yeah.
You know, going minor and major.
Sweet. Let's move on to C and D.
Yeah, okay, so when it went up to the C, I think I sort of remember. And I remember kind of going up to that D. So I'm down here. This is A. I was playing an A minor at that time. I was down here. Or A major. Yep, you went to the C, and my mind said, gotta go to C.
That's a great bend right there. Yeah.
Okay, so what this is, string 3, fret 2, index finger, go up a whole step to fret 4, pull up to fret 5. Well, you're not going to fret 5, but the note is going up to that note, which is on fret 5. And so you're going to the C.
Yeah.
And then my tendency is to see, I see a D chord in my mind because that's where you're headed.
Nice.
So I do a little bridge. It's like, how am I going to get to this note?
Yeah.
I'm going to find some notes to be a bridge to that note. And so I see this kind of G-ish, I guess it's modal, this kind of G-ish thing right here, which is legal. What it is also there's a C2 here. I'm kind of seeing that. And then when I hit that note, I am seeing this D chord
D,
here,
yeah.
officially. And then once I play that note, I know I'm headed back. I'm always kind of thinking like 3 or 4 beats ahead in a way. Because if I go, the minute I hit that note, I know you're headed back to A, and I know that I can just jump into A blues without thinking.
Right.
I mean, one of the nice things about, you know, playing pentatonically and then playing arpeggiatedly
Gesundheit.
and chordally is that if you're paying attention to chords,
Yeah.
when you're headed back home, it's like a horse that runs home really fast and dumps you off. And
Yeah.
when you're headed back to the
Barn.
home court, to the
Yeah.
barn, you can turn your mind off and just
Yeah.
play blues. And,
Okay.
and that to me is really interesting because you're playing melodically.
Yeah.
Melodically, I know you're going back to A minor. Then I just turn my mind off and go. And I'm literally not thinking when I'm playing the blues. I'm not thinking about chords. So it's always kind of a nice kind of dance back and forth between paying attention to the notes
Yeah.
and the chords, and then turning your mind off and just playing the blues.
See, but the difference between you and me is when you turn your mind off, you still land on the right note.
Not always.
Yeah. Okay. So.
So, and then the thing is, you went up to E.
Yeah.
So we were headed up to E, and I do remember I was playing up here really high. And I remember I ended up on this really high E7 up
Interesting,
here.
okay.
Which you can see it down here.
Yeah.
That blues. I had
Right.
played that before, but I was way up here. And then I did the 6th thing. The country is.
Walked your way back down.
Which, if I can explain it, it's a harmony. I'm on the 3rd string. The notes are So we start on fret, come on, 16, 14, 13, 11, 9, chromatically down to 7. On the third string. And then all you have to do is follow the high one, which is, the frets are different because you have to, change.
You're essentially just following the chord shapes down there.
So that's 12, 14, 16. So we're on the high string now. 16, 14, 12, 10, 9, 8, 7.
Yeah.
And you can either pick it with 2 fingers, or you can just, by muting the middle string. I was showing somebody the other day, this hand is always muting the errant strings. I'm always, the flesh from these fingers is always resting lightly on the strings to keep the strings I don't want ringing. And you literally, you can, as long as these fingers are muting this middle string, you can just strike it and nobody will ever hear it.
Almost adds a little bit of a percussive
Nice thumb.
vibe.
Yeah. It works. You can do it.
So the next part is A, C, and then on the jam track it's more of a
Nice.
special D.
That's nice. That's a good D.
Yeah, but I think in this one I just stuck with the plain normal chords, but you pretty much covered that modal thing anyways. So let's get into that.
You know, in a situation like this, I really can turn my brain off and just play the blues in a way. Although I do observe the 4 chord a little bit. I'll show you what I mean. Go ahead and play the chords. Yeah, so I like to kind of land on the third of the D a lot, and maybe that's the reason I should stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because that is one thing about guitars, that when you find something that you like to do a lot, like, I was watching a player today on YouTube, and he just kept going.
Yeah. Yep.
And I thought, you should stop doing that, because you don't want to do anything too much.
Yeah. Well, it's like constantly challenging yourself to find new ways.
Yeah, and not get stuck on certain habits. You want to keep trying to break it up. So that being said,
is that what you think when you hear me play guitar all the time?
No.
Like, better stop doing that.
The way to cure that is the simpler you play, the less likely you are to have any of those issues, because it's just the simplicity kind of cures everything. So what I do is I play an A minor. And then when it goes to the D chord, I like to grab maybe like this double stop of the D right here, because I can pull it. And I have never not liked doing that.
No. Sounds tough.
Sounds like being high on drugs. I never am, but someone was high once, so.
So they'll relate.
Yeah, okay, so I'm playing an A minor, and when it goes to the D, I ignore the C pretty much, because it's the cousin of A minor. It's the same chord, basically. And then I land on the D, and then I might kind of go, if I'm in this position, I might walk down to the third there, and I'm looking at a D7 scale.
Which again, that's a mode, but in reality, you can look at it as it's just mixing major and minor again, because it's both.
Yeah, it's A minor, but I am aiming towards the third of D. Yeah. I'm looking for islands to hop onto. It's like, or stones in the river. Okay. And then it's natural for me to drop down. Down there. I love when 2 notes rub together like that. That was an accident, a happy accident. So here, if I'm playing an A up here, when it lands on the D chord, I go up here. And I'm literally in the key of D all of a sudden. 10th fret D, there's nothing wrong with that. So A minor, and then D. A minor, and then D.
Yeah, that's also position 3 of A minor pentatonic.
Yeah, it's the 10th fret up here.
Yes, sir.
So, and then I'll keep going up. Certainly on a solo, you want to go low and high and low and high. You know, you don't want to stay in the same place all the time. There's some great players who have stayed in the same place and sounded great. For everything you say, it's the opposite.
Yes, it's true.
It's a
It's
paradox.
true. Yeah.
So I'm up here in A minor, fret 14, string 3, finger 2, and I'm playing this blues lick. And then I see this D7 here. Okay, then we come up to A here. And you be careful, you might break a string.
It's true. It's true. It did happen.
Yeah. So once you've gone up there, maybe it's time to stop soloing and let the singer start singing.
Perfect. Right, because we just stepped all over him the whole song.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all right.
You can play the outro, you know, just let him sing a verse or two and then start
Sometimes
jamming the outro.
they stage dive, especially a song like this. Could be a country bar out there.
And then they don't come back.
No,
right?
they don't.
So
right?
you've got to keep playing that.
Meet the hot girl in the 4th row. Okay. Well, sweet. Thank you once again. That was.
You're welcome. And these are GJ2 guitars.
Yes, they are. That's Jackson.
Jackson,
They
yeah.
huge in the '80s, but now he's transcended, and he's started to make all
Yeah.
sorts of guitars.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
And so was the other one you saw in the
Yeah.
beginning of the video, which Tim broke a string on.
Yeah.
Which was awesome. So check them out. They're awesome. But wait, there's more.